twitter.com/actualalove. And we do wish to note the fact this is her first and only post-TNA interview. Former 5-time Knockouts champion Angelina Love, Angel Williams, joining us here on the Monday Night Mayhem Radio Network to celebrate our 10-year anniversary celebration. Angel, we appreciate the free time this week. How are things going for you down in Florida?
They're wonderful. Thank you. Happy anniversary.
Well, thank you very much. And technically, Trim, I know that you can confirm this for the listeners that, since the relaunch for the 10-year anniversary, this is actually one of the more requested guests in the program, but most importantly, the first female to join us. And it's always good, when we're getting up there in age, the ladies still love working with us.
Absolutely, and stuff. And you're absolutely right. People have been dying to know if we're going to be able to get up to talk with you, and here we go.
Indeed. Angel, obviously, again, about 2 months ago, you made the decision to part ways with TNA, and I think that probably the main thing that a lot of fans want to know, and you basically set everything straight in a statement about 2 months ago that it was a parting of the ways between yourself and TNA. Did it really just come time for you to start a new chapter in your career?
Yeah, it really did. There's no big fancy story. There's no scandal. It's nothing too big. Literally, it was just like, I spoke to all of the appropriate people, and it was just my time. It was just my time to go. I was there for 5 years, 5-time Knockouts champ, 1-time tag champ. Did a lot with a lot of people, storyline-wise and everything. And I guess it was just, I kind of accomplished pretty much everything you could. And, of course, I'm always, coming up with ideas and wanting to do more and trying to be creative and, get myself in this storyline and that storyline. And, some things had been talked about, but mutually and completely amicably, we just decided that, it was my time and, that was it.
I think that the overwhelming response on Twitter has been favorable for yourself and what you're going to be doing next. And we'll be talking plenty of times and plenty throughout the course of this program about Velvet Sky, your longtime tag team partner, the Beautiful People. But she wrote on Twitter, she tweeted, "Such a damn shame, so much left to do there. I know that you're going to move on to big things, bud. Good luck, and as always, love you. Madison Rain, I'll miss your beautiful face. I can't wait to see the awesome things you're about to accomplish, though. Devon, God is with you, girls. See you soon. Tara, good luck. Angelina, you will have success no matter where your journey takes you." Whenever someone decides to end one chapter and begin another, there's always some sort of sadness. But what did this feedback, especially from not only those who you worked with, but your fans throughout the world, what did that mean to you so far over the course of the past couple of months this summer?
Leaving TNA was sad. It wasn't like I was throwing a party or anything, but I've been there for 5 years, and it was a lot of fun. Like, it really, really was a lot of fun. And I completely, to a very high degree, got to live my dreams and travel and be on, worldwide TV and pay-per-view. And, that's what everyone dreams of doing when we get in this business. And, I was really given the ball and able to run with it. And so definitely, a lot, everybody has to move on from everything in life. Changes always happen. Everybody has to move forward. But I definitely have, a lot of good memories. And I got, a lot of friends there, a lot of people I'm close with. And, seeing, a lot of my coworkers support me a lot on Twitter, that really meant a lot to me. That really touched me. That it really shows who your true friends are and who truly cares about you and what you do in your future. And, I had a lot of fun. Obviously me and Velvet is the Beautiful People. That was probably the greatest thing I've ever done in my career. And, Madison and I worked each other so much. We could work each other in our sleep. And, Tara, I was so excited when she came to TNA to be able to work her, because I had really wanted to work her, actually. And then, Devon and a lot of other guys just supporting me, that really, really means a lot. It really means a lot to me.
In your first statement here earlier, you said that, when in TNA, you were, pitching storylines and coming up with ideas and everything else. Are you able to share with us any storyline ideas you may have had that weren't used that you really would have loved to have done, but for whatever reason it just didn't happen?
I wanted to. It would have been cool to do another program with Gail, and just throwing out manager ideas for being with the guys and stuff like that, doing the whole girl guy thing or whatever. So just trying to be different, come up with something exciting and different.
Now, were there any people that you didn't get to work with while you were in TNA that you really would have loved to?
Well, I think I worked with every girl. So, and the guys and girls really can't wrestle each other on TV. So,
True.
No, I guess I'd say I did pretty good.
Again, we've got Angel Williams joining us here on the Monday Night Mayhem Radio Network as part of the 10-year anniversary celebration of Monday Night Mayhem MNMX. And again, you can follow all about Monday Night Mayhem on the WrestleView Radio Network. You can log on to WrestleView.com for more details on what we've got forthcoming leading into the new fall season of the Mayhem. Angel, I think that there's really the best way to describe it is that there really was, pre-Hogan Bischoff, post-Hogan Bischoff when it comes to TNA. The experience of working with both gentlemen, I know that there's been, those that have been very positive. Some have been the exact opposite. So at least when it comes to working with the Knockouts, was there any huge shift when it comes to the actual, storylines, just the actual division as a whole before Hulk and Eric came in your opinion?
I don't know really. I find Hogan to be very, very cool. He was actually super supportive of the Knockouts and would always watch our matches and give feedback and would always be like, man, you girls kick ass and everything. So, because I think that they know that, the Knockouts division is a really big part of TNA and really helped us the show. So they're pretty supportive of it.
Again, Angel Williams joining us here on the Monday Night Mayhem Radio Network, your home of wrestling radio. Talking, Chairman, throughout the 10 years of us doing the program, the TNA Knockouts have been one of the biggest topics of discussion and conversation. One of the really cool things that I really still want to say after all this time, Angel, is the fact that some of the highest rated segments on Impact were with the Knockouts. And again, in a business where it's all about quote unquote big guys, when the women are carrying the show, that really says a lot. Now,
well, also, too, repeatedly, it's been one part of, Impact Wrestling that is consistently done better than what's being done over in the WWE, as an example. And, the beautiful people were a major, major part of that.
Which we'll, of course, be discussing momentarily. But just from the perspective of that, there was always the glowing responses. It seems that the people at Spike TV were very happy with the Knockouts division as a whole. If you can sort of compare the Knockouts from when you first came into the company, when the Knockouts were really first starting, to when you came back for your second run with the company.
Honestly, I know that when TNA started the Knockouts division, it was kind of like a crapshoot. It was like, let's give it a whirl and let's see if it sinks or swims. And it really, really took off. And I am so proud. I can't even tell you how proud I am to be one of the original girls that really helped get the Knockouts division on the map. We had, and we still do, have such awesome girls in that division. And the fact that the fans, tuned in to watch us really showed that they really wanted to see good women's wrestling. And, pretty much every girl that was in TNA, especially when we started the division, had an indie background or had been wrestling for years and training hard, and a lot of us had wrestled each other on the indies before we got to TNA, so we knew each other's styles, and it was just really easy and really, really fun. And, for all 2007, 2008, and 2009, we were just running with the beautiful people and working with Kong and Roxy and, Zintera, and everything was just so fun. And even when I came back, it was kind of sad being against the beautiful people, but, obviously storyline-wise, it made complete sense. And I had been a heel for 2.5, almost 3 years, so coming back as a babyface, I always actually find that to be a little more challenging than being a heel. But, then it was just me and Madison working each other, and me and Velvet, and it was really fun. It's easy. And it's fun.
One of the Twitter and Facebook questions that we keep getting from a lot of people, so I'm just going to pretty much boil it down into one thing here. A lot of people want your thoughts on the storyline you did with Winter. Some people liked it. Some people didn't. They're wondering what you thought of it and just how it came about.
I don't even know how it came about. It really came out of nowhere. It's just, one of the things that Vince Russo came up with, he was always very big on having as many girls involved in the show as possible, which, we were totally thankful for. Of course, at the beginning, I thought it was a very odd pairing. I'm sure a lot of people did. But, Winter she's an awesome girl. She loves the business. She's really, really sweet. She's awesome to get along with in the locker room. And the one thing that I really did like about it is it was actually in the beginning, it was challenging for me. I liked the whole, kind of gothy, sexy, edgy side of it. I thought that was kind of fun to play with. But if you looked at how I had been in The Beautiful People, and pretty much the whole time I was at TNA, it was pink and glitter and tiaras and skirts and high heels and makeup, and this was like the complete opposite. And I mean, in wrestling, you're taught to be very animated and make lots of facial expressions and really throw yourself around. And I kind of had to be like the Terminator. No blinking. There was times where I was like, I wasn't able to blink. It was like, this would make it the best if you don't blink. And that's kind of hard, especially when, Velvet's hitting me, to not throw my arms back or throw my hair back or, do something, to make it look real big, to just kind of stand there and just kind of brush it off like, a little gust of wind hit me or something was actually challenging. And trying not to make any noise when I wrestled or make any faces was really challenging. And I liked that. I like to be, I don't like to get in a rut with anything that I do. I like to be challenged with my characters. And that was something that I really liked about it because it was completely different from what I had been doing for years there.
And I do got to say, Angel, one of the first comparisons that I personally thought of when you and Winter were working together was one of our former guests. And of course she was, and I believe Terminator, was it 3, if I'm not mistaken? Christiana Loken. Yeah, with being the female Terminatrix, and it really shows that you can work.
Yeah, she was hot.
Very much so, and it just really shows the fact that that you can work another style, because the one thing I know that in wrestling, it's still about actually being able to do other things besides wrestle, and most fans know that the Knockouts can completely wrestle. They can wrestle without a shadow of a doubt. But you're able to indeed, move on with your characters, which I think is great. Again, we've got Angel Williams joining us here on Monday Night Mayhem, your home of wrestling radio, as part of the 10-year anniversary celebration of M&M. The Beautiful People. Every single fan that we've had for many a year, Chairman, thinks that is one of their personal favorite groups, teams of all time. BFFs, besties, whatever you want to call yourself.
Frenemies.
Friendlies. I think that there's...
No, I said frenemies.
Oh, frenemies. Okay, I thought you said friendlies there for a second.
This isn't soccer.
Well, all right, there we go. But just you, yourself, and Velvet clicked on so many cylinders, and it seems that it really showed inside of the ring. And we're going to be talking more about Velvet and what you guys are going to be doing going forward as well. But the experience of The Beautiful People with yourself and Velvet, what did that really mean to you, and really how did the whole thing really begin, if you want to share that with the listeners?
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely like the best time that I've ever had, like wrestling, doing that with Velvet. We had met each other previously when I was in WWE Developmental at Deep South. She had come in for like a week-long tryout, and then we had done a couple indies right around the time that all of us were just getting signed to TNA to start the Knockouts division. And her and I clicked like almost immediately, and that's why it was so easy for us to work together, because we're kind of almost the same person in the way that like we have the same sarcasm and we have the same sarcastic sense of humor, and we like a lot of the same things, and we just get along really, really well. And when you're working that closely with someone, and it's pretty much like your sister and your best friend, I mean, that just, you can't get any better than that, when it comes to quote unquote work, because it doesn't feel like that. And when we first started, her and I just, we didn't know everybody in the locker room. We did, but not everybody. So we would meet everybody, but we would always walk around backstage, just hanging out and this and that. And then a lot of people, because I guess we were kind of really the only two blondes to start. And a lot of people, in the locker room and stuff would be like, they would just see us walking around and hanging out with each other all the time and be like, hey, are you guys going to be a tag team? Are you guys a tag team? And, everybody just thought it would be, something really cool. And we had actually discussed that too. Like, everybody's doing their singles thing and everybody's got this going on. Like, how cool would it be to do a female tag team? I mean, nobody's really doing a female tag team anywhere at the time. And so they had started us off as baby faces, and it kind of worked, kind of didn't work so well for, the girlfriends and the boyfriends and the audience and such. But, like a lot of girls that when they had started the division, a lot of girls that they had as heels ended up turning baby faces just for, from crowd reaction. And then a lot of the girls that they had, started baby faces turned heels just because of, how they were getting crowd reaction as well. And Velvet and I kind of quickly started getting, ourselves over as heels. We're both much more comfortable working as heels. And, just the whole, like, little outfits and the skirts and the makeup and the glitter, that was just how we got ourselves ready for TV and shows anyway. That was just what we did. And then we had spoke to Vince and talked to them and with something obviously new and different, and they were totally like going for it because they were seeing how, the girls were really taking off. And we had come up when we got our new names, we both obviously like have porn star names, like legitimately. Angelina Love is a porn star name. So we were like, okay, well, let's go with this and let's see what we can, come up with. So we wanted to call ourselves Velvet Love Entertainment. And we're like, well, sounds like a porn company. So, see what they say. And then Vince had come up with the Beautiful People, and we were like, all right, that's totally cool. And once he saw just like how relaxed we were with each other and how easily like everything just flowed with him giving us direction and what we had to do, and he really trusted us a lot. And we just, he really just gave us the ball and let us run with it and trusted us. And he really liked it, and it was really fun. And I mean, the stuff that we did and the response and the reaction that we got from fans was absolutely, like, I'm so appreciative for it, and it was so amazing because, I mean, any fan could just, watch a bunch of girls and be like, oh, they suck, and oh, we don't like girls wrestling, and, especially two blonde girls wearing tiaras and skirts. Like, we would probably be the two that they would take the least serious just because of how we look. But I think one of the biggest things is that we had characters. We could totally get in the ring and throw down. Not a problem with that. But, we had really strong characters, and it was just fun. And a lot of the times when we would do our backstage segments and we'd be sitting in our thrones, that literally was just me and Velvet talking back and forth, turned up quite a few notches on, the BITCH radar. Just going back and forth and, just going back and forth and just acting like, silly, gossipy girls. And it was just fun and ridiculous, and we just went with it. And, I thought it was so cool that the fans liked it so much because it was like this girl tag team thing that people really got behind, and that was such a huge compliment to both of us and our work as well.
When people think of the Beautiful People, I mean, the Beautiful People are Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, but, at different points during the run, you had other members. You had Madison Rayne, Cute Kip, Lacey Von Erich.
Cute Kip, huh?
He was considered a member, if I remember correctly.
You just said Cute Kip.
Well, that was his name.
I know what a flashback.
Anyway, so, when they did
this...
That
was really fun, by the way. That was really fun having Kip.
Well, when they would add people to the more or other people, the Beautiful People, was it pretty much that they said, "Here you go, figure this out," or did you just have discussion amongst each other? So maybe we should do this. Like, what was the process of that coming together?
Well, with Kip, we had no idea. I think he debuted when we did Karen's Angle, and I don't know, it just seemed really random. But we were like, okay, it's Billy Gunn, that's pretty cool. And he came in as like our little stylist and stuff, and he just became like, he really fit in, and he was probably the perfect guy to do that kind of character because he didn't mind, laying down for Kong, and he didn't mind like brushing our hair and, pretending to fix our makeup and just wearing pink, gear with cherries on them. Like, he just was like, this is fun and this is cool and I'm going to go with it. And he had a great attitude about it. And then with Madison, I remember Vince telling us that they wanted to add somebody to the group, and I had actually known her just a little bit before she came into TNA, so it was kind of like, I mean, we're not going to say no. It's not our decision anyway, but you know, we were having so much fun with it. We were like, sure, you know, and I think it was probably the most perfect way to bring Madison into TNA. Because, I mean, look at her now. But, I mean, even when, you know, she was like our little mute and we were having her do our little, you know, bitch jobs and stuff, it just worked with us and our characters being like the princess bitches and having someone do our dirty work for us. And I thought it was put together really well. And it was really fun. We all got along great.
I got to tell you, too, I think you just hit on would have been an awesome name for you guys, if not the beautiful people. The Princess Bitches. That would have been stupendous.
Definitely. The marketing might have been a little bit challenging, though, to say the least. I know that there was a lot of, if you want to call it, maybe some sort of negative vibes when Lacey Von Erich initially came in. You know, some fans may have figured, okay, she's green, she doesn't have that much experience, and she was thrusted into a very prominent position. Was that really the feeling, at least between yourself and Velvet, or was it a matter of, listen, that, you know, we're going to work with her, we're going to sort of make her into, you know, one of our own and basically try to get her to the next point of her career? Because, I mean, you know, it's just looking back and you see Lacey's career, you sort of think there could have been so much more. And, you know, was it the result of maybe some sort of miscommunication, or just really things didn't work out?
Well, I mean, I know when they brought Lacey in, you know, all the fans were like, oh, she's replacing Angelina Love. And it wasn't really about that. It was just, I mean, she's beautiful. She's one of the funniest people you'll ever meet. Like, you wouldn't believe some of the things that comes out of her mouth. And it's just like, she's really fun to be around. But yeah, I mean, I know some people were like, oh, replacement, and like, it was what it was. It worked, you know, it was still a hot blonde trio. And, I mean, it definitely gave me a lot to do when I came back, for sure.
Sort of still on the beautiful people front. And of course, we've got Angel Williams joining us here on Monday Night Mayhems. We're celebrating our 10-year anniversary here at your home of wrestling radio. Myself, the Big Mosh, the chairman of the board, Todd Vincent. LayCool, in the infamous fantasy world of professional wrestling and sports and entertainment, it would have been the beautiful people versus LayCool. And there was a lot of rumors, scuttlebutt, whatever you want to call it, that the WWE creative team, you know, whatever impression that they had of yourself and Velvet, that they created LayCool based on that. Now, I'm sure that led to some nice, you know, discussion, banter, and of course the infamous, you know, do you always believe what you read or see on the internet? How much truth to that is there? LayCool as the result of the success from the beautiful people.
Oh, well, you'd have to ask WWE Creative. I mean, I myself have no idea. But if WWE was watching the beautiful people and thought it was something that was really awesome, that's a huge compliment.
Did you feel, based on, you know, at least maybe watching Michelle and Layla, that it was, I don't want to call it necessarily a blatant ripoff, but did you feel that they really were the beautiful people, but just in the WWE, at least in your opinion?
I don't really have much of an opinion about it. You know, Velvet and I were very wrapped up in what we were doing as the beautiful people. And I mean, I think that the fans would still maybe at one point love to see, you know, the beautiful people versus LayCool. That'd be pretty cool.
You know, kind of sticking on this WWE thread here, you mentioned earlier, and I don't think a lot of people realize that you were in WWE developmental when you were in Deep South. Can you tell the people pretty much what the history was of that and what your experience was and just how, you know, the journey went?
Yeah, like the first time I ever went and had tryouts for WWE was, and you're going to see me with my dates, I'm really crazy with like remembering dates, was June 2004. And then come like October, November-ish of that year, they had released Jazz, Nydia, and Gail. And we're having like a 2-week tryout for a bunch of girls. I think some of them were models and some of them were indie girls at OVW. And Tommy Dreamer was the talent scout at the time and had asked me to go, so I went. And Lance Storm and Bill DeMott were the trainers at OVW then. And pretty much after a couple of days, I kind of had like the verbal, you know, we're going to hire you kind of thing. So it was really, really exciting. And I did end up getting hired. I think January 2005, like right before Christmas, actually 2004, so right around that time. And then I wanted to start in Deep South, so that there was a lot of times when it was supposed to start and the dates got pushed, and then we ended up like opening the doors there in May 2005, and it was me and 16 guys for about 6 months. So I had to just train with the guys, and we literally put the floor down in the arena, and we built the arena as we were training and wrestling as well, and we were doing lots of drills and stuff at the Gold Gym that we all worked out at as well. And I mean, I definitely feel that, that was obviously an amazing experience. I mean, I was there for a long time. It was over 2 years. But that, you're around the same people all the time, and you're training together, and you bond, and you become friends. And then Taylor Wilde had come down as well, and Chrissy Vane, and like I trained with Taylor Wilde in Toronto at the same training school. So having her there was really fun. And I really felt that would probably be where I really learned how to hone my promo cutting skills, because we pretty much had to do them every week. And we were timed, and we had to be able to come up with different ideas and make sure that we were able to speak slowly and clearly enough and get a really good point across in a certain amount of time without rushing and this and that. And, one of my favorite things to do is get on the mic and talk. I was able to do that a lot in the Beautiful People, and it's very just easy for me to do now. I actually, when I was little, used to be completely shy of getting up in front of people and speaking. And like when I had to do speeches in class, I would dread it. I would try to be sick. I did not want to get up for 3 minutes in front of my classmates and talk about why I love cats. And like my throat would close up, and I would get all nervous, and my hands would sweat, and I hated it so much. And I mean, just being in wrestling, like you're literally just opening yourself up and throwing yourself out there in front of a bunch of people who, either love you or don't love you, and you have to be open to criticism and compliments, and either or you might not be used to. And I mean, obviously it really helped me open up, and I just love being able to talk and get on the mic and be able to do that all the time at Deep South, and it was really an amazing experience.
Now, 2 quick follow-ups to that. One, you said it was pretty much you were the only female at the start. You were 16 other people, men. Did any of them go on to get breakthrough and get into WWE and be prominent within that class that you were within? And what led to you no longer being associated with Deep South?
Yeah, like Mike Knox was one of the guys that started there. Brian Black on the Indies became Palmer Cannon, if you remember that gimmick. And then the Shane twins were the Gemini. I managed them for a dark match at SmackDown and ECW. Let's see who else started there. I mean, Derek Nykirk was there, Ryan O'Reilly, who's Connor O'Brien now. And then there was Mike Taylor and Tony Solantri. Like there was a lot. And the great thing for me is that they were all like so supportive of me. Like nobody picked on me. Nobody was like, oh my God, she's a girl, she can't hang with us, she wrestles like a girl. Like, they were so proud of me and so impressed that I was able to keep up with them and keep pace with them. And I'm that girl. Like, I will never, like, if you tell me I can't do something, I'll so prove you wrong. Like, that's just like motivation for me. Like, you gotta love the haters because they push you. And I was contracted to WWE. I was not going to slack, and I was going to show everybody that I'm a girl. I'm a wrestler. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it, and I'm going to hang, and I'm going to give it all I got. And and I did that for just over 2 years, and then Deep South got shut down. And then I had gone to OVW, and then parted ways with the company just a little bit after that.
You can follow Angel Williams on Twitter at ActualALove. You can follow Monday Night Mayhem on Twitter at Feel the Mayhem. We've got Angel Williams joining us here on Monday Night Mayhem, myself, Big Mosh, the chairman of the board, Todd Benson. We're celebrating our 10-year anniversary here throughout the summer leading into the fall here on your home of wrestling radio. Sort of kicking back to the beautiful people, but bring in old school, if you really want to call it that, new school again, the reunion of yourself and Velvet. I know that that's probably one of the more highly anticipated things on the independent scene that fans are going to have the chance to see. Obviously, as of right now, Velvet is no longer with TNA, so the both of you are free to pretty much do your own thing, at least to a certain extent. If you can sort of let the fans know where they can check the both of you out together as of right now, and really how much do you guys really want to do this? You know, are we talking, worldwide with the beautiful people, international, other countries on the independent scene?
Yeah, we wanted to, we wanted to get the beautiful people back together. This, and the fans really wanted to see it too, and we wanted to really be able to give that to the fans because we hear about it all the time. We both get tweeted numerous times a day, every day, about fans wanting to know when we were going to get back together in TNA. We wanted to see it so badly, and it just, I guess it just wasn't meant to be. But we both still wanted to do it because it's just so fun. And the fans wanted to see it really bad. So with me leaving and then with Velvet leaving, we were like, well, we can kind of do whatever we want now. So it was just a given. Like, it was something we were really excited about. We were talking about it, and it was just, such a fun thought. And, for at least the next 2.5 months, we have a lot of stuff coming up together. We're going to Aruba to wrestle for Kevin Nash's shows, September 7th to the 9th. And we have NEW wrestling on September 22nd. It's going to be me and Velvet against Madison and Rosita, and Lita's going to be our ref. So that's going to be a really fun show. And then October 5th, we have FWE wrestling in Brooklyn. And then the 6th, we're doing a convention. It's the big event, I believe. And then the 7th, we're doing a store signing together. And then October 13th is the Legends of the Ring convention, and we're going to be together signing there as well. And then at the end of October, we're going to be wrestling for Maryland's Championship Wrestling, I believe. We actually have a couple. We have a couple appearances coming up, signings and shows in Maryland, in October and getting into November and stuff. So, we got a lot coming up, and we're really excited, and we're going to get new beautiful people outfits, like old school beautiful people outfits, and just, do the thing that we really, really love to do.
If there are any, how shall we say, high-ranking marketing representatives between Fredericks of Hollywood and Victoria's Secrets, and of course we're talking about keeping it classy here, Chairman, classy. I'm thinking that, possibly doing some stuff with the, with the beautiful people. If you really want to make a lot of money, that's just one idea. We're just sort of throwing it out there. But I will also add this in as well.
Don't forget Hot Topic.
I was just about to say that. I swear to God. Mosh isn't quite up on all that stuff.
Come on. I flock into Hot Topic once every couple months.
Well,
don't you
Fredericks
think?
and Victoria's Secret, definitely. I think I have stock in both stores at this point. So.
Well, there you go. There you go on that. And I will say this, Chairman, too, between a lot of our followers on Twitter as well as fans on Facebook, they're looking forward to these appearances of the beautiful people together even more so than several of the recent wrestling pay-per-views. Now, what does that really say when it comes to fans looking forward to independent shows more than just the state of the business sort of today?
I've always said personality sells.
Personality does sell, Chairman.
I mean, that's totally amazing. Like, that, getting support from people all over the world. Like, I just think of myself as me. Like, I'm Lauren, and I grew up in Orangeville, Ontario, and I wanted to be a wrestler my whole life, and it never ceases to completely amaze me when someone in Australia knows who I am, or, the people in the UK are just like, fans of what Velvet and I have done, or like somebody from Egypt tweets you, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, you never really kind of sit there and contemplate and comprehend, that when you're on TV, like, I mean, I'm just living my dream and doing my thing and having fun, but it's literally being broadcast around the whole world, and I think it's so cool, and I think it just shows how loyal the beautiful people fans are, because Velvet and I have not been the beautiful people on TV for almost a year and a half, 2 years. And every day we hear from fans. Every single day we hear from fans. When are the beautiful people getting back together? When are Angelina Love and Velvet Sky getting back together? When are we going to see you guys get back together on Impact? When are you going to leave Winter and get back with Velvet? And this is not, and I mean, like, it is such a compliment because we're two girls. You know what I mean? And to have done something that people love so much and have wanted to see and haven't been able to see for 2 years. And nobody dropped it, you know, like, I don't know, it blows me away that the fact that we haven't done anything together pretty much for 2 years and people still want to see it. Like that, I mean, I don't know, that just blows me away. It's amazing that we were able to do something that people remember and really want to see still. That blows me away. It's so cool.
Okay, now I think it's time to address the big elephant sitting in this room with us.
Didn't George Carlin say that? If I'm not mistaken, the big purple elephant or pink elephant?
No.
Okay, well, I got to bring up to speed on my George Carlin.
Yeah, you do.
Okay,
anyway,
go ahead.
Time to address the elephant in the room here, Angel. The question we've gotten the most is having to do with the WWE. So simply put, if the opportunity was to present itself, do you have interest in going to the WWE?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. I think that'd be awesome. It would be really, really fun.
And if you were to go there, tell the fans, who are some of the people you'd be dying to work with?
Oh, any of the girls. I mean, the only one. No, I worked Beth Phoenix on the Indies before. Oh my gosh, probably 8 or 9 years ago. And that was really fun. And I worked with Natty a little bit in Deep South. But besides that, I haven't worked with any of those girls there, so it's all new possibilities, and that's fun. That's a fun
you gotta have a dream matchup though. Come on, there's gotta be a dream matchup there.
Well, me and Trish Stratus. I mean, I think 1 or 2 people might want to see that.
Possibly, maybe more than 1 or 2, maybe a couple thousand. I'm sure to see at least. I automatically think of yourself and Beth Phoenix. Now I know again, with certain divas. It seems, you know what, and before we talk about Beth and Natty, because both of them have a good long-standing relationship with the program, AJ, she's everywhere. She is Miss WWE. She's really taken, it's been very, I don't want to say difficult for one woman to take the WWE by storm, and I might be sort of overblowing what she's been doing thus far, but it seems like that's the impression that at least that I'm getting. So if you had the opportunity to work with AJ, what do you think that experience would be like for you?
Well, I think it'd be awesome. I mean, look at what she's so young, and look at what she's accomplished already. I mean, that's every girl's dream. She was an indie wrestler. She got hired. She worked her way up through FCW, got on TV, and has been involved in major storylines, got a lot of TV time, and now she's the Raw general manager. That's absolutely amazing. that is so cool, and I'm happy for her, and I'm definitely sure that she's excited about everything she's doing. And like I said, I would absolutely love to work with her. I think it would be fun. But
I'm still thinking that the money match would have to be with Beth Phoenix. I mean, we're talking, let's have a high-profile Divas matchup at WrestleMania without Maria Menounos. No disrespect to her at all whatsoever, but having Angel and Beth. So WrestleMania is where? New York, if I'm not mistaken, next to Chairman, or New York/New Jersey. Let the banter begin right now. If I think, maybe we can come up with a hashtag, because we're big on hashtags here at the MAME. How about, Beth versus Angel or something like that?
That would be really fun.
We can easily be creative as much as possible here on Monday Night Mayhem, your home of wrestling radio. Again, will Angel be in the WWE? I think that there's been other people before us that have said stay tuned, because that could happen. You honestly never know.
Well, technically, too, you could see possibly both beautiful people, but I don't want to speak on behalf of anybody else who's not here right now.
Yes. We don't want to insert foot in our mouth and speak on behalf of Velvet, but we obviously know, I think the fans know, that the beautiful people would draw money in the WWE. Do you think that the WWE Divas division, as of right now, it's sort of been changing around a little bit here and there, do you think that it would be a perfect fit with the beautiful people and vice versa?
Sure. I mean, if they wanted us, that would be awesome. We would come in and do whatever we needed to do. It would be fun, because like I said, it's a whole new group of girls to work with, and a whole new bunch of storylines and a lot of different stuff that we can do. And I mean, anywhere that I go, I want to add to the locker room. You know what I mean? I want to go there and have fun and do my job and live my dream and just do what we all love to do together. I think it would be awesome.
Okay, and I think that those are some nice points. You know, Vince McMahon and, you know, Kevin Dunn and Michael Hayes. I think they can all take good notes from this interview without a shadow of a doubt. We're winding down our time here with Angel Williams on Monday Night Mayhem, your home of wrestling radio. You can follow Angel on Twitter at @ActualALove. There's other things than wrestling, if I'm not mistaken.
I heard something about a movie.
A movie, TV. I mean, there's plenty of things that are on your plate besides the world of wrestling. Now, again, we don't want to get too much in it because I know that a lot of the fans really want to hear it specifically from yourself versus myself and from the chairman. But I know you've got a couple things in the works with your acting career going forward.
Yeah, I sure do. I was very, very fortunate a few years ago to go to the premiere of a movie called Dark Rising and in Toronto. It's done by a company called Black Walk Productions, and actually Christian was in the first movie. And he was there, and I actually went with Scott D'Amore and some other people, and watched it. And I remember sitting there, you know, watching it in the theater, and the main actress is Brigitte Kingsley, and she's married to the director, Andrew Simic. And, I mean, oh my gosh, they are two of the nicest people you will ever meet in your life. And I remember sitting there watching the movie going, man, that must be really fun. Like, and it's not like I haven't watched the movie and thought, man, it would be fun to act before, but just watching what they were doing and just seeing, you know, how fun they were. And they would throw some, you know, random wrestling moves into the fight. Like, I mean, I remember Brigitte gave Christian the unprettier, and that was awesome. And then, you know, there was an after party, and I talked with Brigitte and Andrew, and that was kind of it. But always kept in contact with them, like on Facebook and stuff like that. And they're huge wrestling fans, too. Andrew and his brother are huge wrestling fans. And they ended up wanting to have me be a part of their series, which I thought was awesome. So, you know, we would get together and have meetings and talk over character stuff. And these were straight to DVD movies. And the second movie, I was in just the last couple minutes of the movie. They just debuted my character, who is Rosemary Black, and she is the avatar of evil. And it's kind of cool because, you know, she's a bit like the zombie character I did in TNA, very Terminator-esque. Like I say, what was really challenging about that, again, is like, you know, like I said, in wrestling, you're taught to be very animated and have this level, you know, of your voice and have this level of your voice and you know, change your tones and, you know, be really out there and this and that. But, like, when you're filming, it's just like you're literally in this little box. And, I mean, your face is right there. You're not performing to an entire arena of people. And especially with my character, it's very monotone, very evil, very mysterious. And, I mean, just working with Brigitte, who's like the gorgeous baby-faced girl of the movies, you know, like, and she was just really excited. You know, she will totally throw down. I had her get in the wrestling ring, and I was teaching her some stuff, and, you know, she'll throw herself all over the place, and she just loved it, and we worked really, really well together. So we debuted my character at the end of the second movie. We filmed that in April of last year, and then the film came out in Toronto in August of last year, and then it ended up getting picked up. They were doing they did a few TV shows for the Super Channel up in Canada, and then just from July all the way through until actually just 4 days ago, the show wrapped on Friday. We were filming 5 episodes. It's called Dark Rising Warrior of Worlds, and it was really cool. You know, I got to work with Colin Mockery, who, like, I mean, who didn't watch Whose Line Is It Anyway? Like, he's so cool. And he lives in Toronto. He's a very well-known Canadian comedian. And I got to work with Scott Thompson from Kids in the Hall, and Jeremy London was on the show. And a lot of the people that are on Dark Rising have been doing the straight-to-DVD movies and the series for a long time. So everybody knew each other, and it was such a fun experience. Like, I don't know, it was just something different. It kept me really busy for the last 6 weeks, which was great. But, I mean, everybody was so nice. And, like, there was not one ego. There was not one little bit of drama from the the catering girl to the makeup ladies to the directors and the actors, and like everybody was just there to have a great time and do our job, and it was really, really fun. And like a lot of things get to come from doing acting, and then it's just like wrestling. You go and do your first show, and then 2 weeks later, somebody knows of another show that needs to grow, and you make your connections, and you book more things. And so, there's lots to come for us from that, and it should start to air. They're looking at the spring of 2013. So
okay.
And I got another little movie offer. Nothing I can really get into a lot of detail about because I don't know a lot of details. But that might be in the next month or two as well. So
fantastic.
Fight stuff and stunt stuff, and have characters and everything. So the fact that we had a stunt coordinator for Dark Rising, and I didn't need a stunt double. I kind of didn't want one, but I really didn't need one. Brigitte had one because she's in the whole show. She was working crazy hours. And the stunt coordinator was just so impressed with us just picking up the fight really, really quickly because, obviously having wrestled for 12 years as I have, putting these things together was really fun. And just easy to do on set, and we could cut whenever we needed to and do this over again whenever we needed to. And it's funny because, me as the athlete, I was not worried about the fight scenes at all. I just knew that they were going to be fine and they were going to happen. I was more worried about remembering all of the lines I had. And then Brigitte, being the actress, she wasn't even worried about her lines at all. It was more, she was concerned about the fight. So we were the opposites, but we really made it work. We really had a lot of fun, and that was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had. I absolutely loved it. And I can't wait for it to come out. I think everybody will really enjoy it.
Agreed. I'm sure that all of your fans will be able to not only see it, but enjoy it thoroughly. Again, more information on the return of the beautiful people coming to a city near you. You can follow Angel on Twitter at @ActualALove, and much love as well goes out to our good friend Velvet Sky at VelVelHoller on Twitter. And Chairman, I'm just going to lay out a really cool scenario, which, by the way...
real quick, the last time Velvet Sky was on was right before she won the title. Was
Bound for Glory, yep, so almost 1 year ago.
She showed up and got some of that
Mayhem Karma
mojo.
Yes.
So.
I actually like Mayhem Mojo better than Mayhem Karma.
It's all about alliteration.
It's very Austin Powers-esque. I'm going to lay out a scenario, and I think that scenarios are really cool for people that have turned 31 or are about to turn 31, even though certain people look younger than 31. Let's say
31.
Well, actually, I just turned 31. Within the course of the next year or so, I think this is a perfect scenario. And we have to bring up our good friend Dan Murphy at Pro Wrestling Illustrated, whom I think that you know very well as well, Angel. Getting back up to I'd even say number 1 in the PWI Female Top 50. He's been harping on me the past couple of days, saying, you know what, Mosh, Chairman, you guys got a good exclusive. Tell Angel that she's really got to impress me to get back up to where she truly deserves to be. So I think that you've got a lot of people watching you, including the good folks at Pro Wrestling Illustrated, leading into the new year.
Awesome. I think the first year I was kind of in the middle of the pack, and then I got it to number 2, which I thought was amazing. I had a really good year that year. Yeah. I have some fans ask me, some people still ask me why they haven't seen me on TNA. I don't think they know I left. But, I think I just answered a question on my Twitter today. Somebody asked me when I was going to get back into wrestling, and I was like, well, I haven't left wrestling. I did a Neo Spirit Pro show on July 28th, and have been doing this, Dark Rising for the last 6 weeks, and for the next, 2 months, I have a lot of wrestling shows. So I never left. Still doing wrestling and acting, and that's exactly what I want to do.
I'm going to translate those fan questions for you. What that really means is, why aren't you on my TV this week?
It's a very simple and direct way to actually put it. And you know what? As part of our 10-year anniversary celebration, it's good to know that there's a girl joining us who understands the goodness of the city of Buffalo, where the mayhem originates still from after all this point in time. Just in closing, if you can give us...
Whoa. Who knows the goodness of Buffalo?
I thought that there was a goodness of Buffalo, Chairman, isn't there? I mean, I've been here my whole life.
Well, you're assuming that people would share your viewpoint.
Okay, Angel,
well, it borders Canada, so I guess that's a good thing about Buffalo.
So we're sort of excellent by default, you're basically saying?
Sure.
All right. Well, Buffalo gets it's a little bit of bagging here and there, but listen, Angel, we really do.
I love Buffalo. I wrestled there a lot.
Yes, and that's the whole tie-in, of course, that we're getting into. But we really do appreciate the free time and joining us this week. The final comments to your fans, because again, you are starting a new chapter of your career. Really, the best is yet to come. I know it's sort of a overblown expression, a cheesy expression, but it really is the case. The best is yet to come. So, what do you want to say to your fans that are listening?
Well, I appreciate you throwing my Twitter handle out there. And I do have Facebook for all those who ask me, but it's just a family and friend and, fellow wrestler kind of page. So I don't add everybody. But yeah, I mean, I have left TNA, but I am in no way, shape, or form done wrestling. I will be wherever I am asked to be. And I will continue to do what I love to do to the absolute best of my ability to bring a lot of joy and happiness to the fans and those who appreciate what I do and love to watch me work. That means the world to me. And I'm going to be doing more acting, and I ain't going anywhere. I'm good.
As we continue on with the celebration of our 10-year anniversary, it's good to know that certain people are going to be on board, that they're not going anywhere anytime soon, and that is one of the gals that's still kicking ass and taking inches, Angel Williams. We're going to be continuing on with this week's edition of Monday Night Mayhem after these brief messages. Phil Varley's, John House, the Wrestling Guys, more with myself, the Big Machi, and the Chairman of the Board, Todd Vincent, here on the WrestleView Radio Network, your home of wrestling radio, MNMX. We're back right after this. Stay tuned.